Poke Nerds, welcome in to the 5 best cards from Scarlet and Violet. This is basically going to be a list of the 5 most iconic cards from this era, like thinking about the Scarlet and Violet zeitgeist, the mood, the feeling around this era from the Pokemon community. It's not necessarily going to be the most expensive cards in order. They all are expensive. Bet you would have never guessed that. But again, the most iconic, remembered, revered, talked about cards from the Scarlet and Violet era when we look back in a couple years after moving on. So, while I think like maybe Milotic or Salamence should be up on this list, it's not subjective. It's not what I think. It's what I believe the community will be thinking in a few years. This is not a list for me. It's a list for the people. So let's go ahead and dive right into it. We are going to go 5 through 1, but first we will get into the honorable mentions. I do not think the Greninja EX Special Illustration Rare is top 5. I do have it right after that at 6. I think that this card from Twilight Masquerade was one of the first big chase cards from a chronological standpoint of the Scarlet and Violet era. I think it will be remembered with reverence. I think people are going to want it for a very long time, but I think ultimately there are 5 cards, actually 6, the way I've done this, that will end up being more iconic than this card, and I think it's an awesome card. I've also got the Sylveon Special Illustration Rare from Prismatic Evolutions, and while, again, subjectively, this would probably be number 1 for me, Sylveon is always going to be in the shadows of Umbreon. That's just kind of how it works when it comes to these evolutions. And so while this card is actually, I think, the second most expensive card right now of the Scarlet and Violet era behind Umbreon, it's not going to be remembered quite that way, in my opinion. A lot of reverence, a lot of love. Everybody loves Sylveon. Sylveon's my favorite evolution, my favorite Pokemon, but I don't think it's going to be top 5 here. I've got the Sunzard and then the Shiny Zard from Paldean Fates. The Sunzard, it's the most iconic card from the most iconic set, in my opinion, from the Scarlet and Violet era 151. I don't think 151's the best set, but I do think it's the most iconic set so far. And I think that the Sunzard, it's a beautiful art. It is a unique style. Not everybody loves the depiction of Charizard in it, but you've got the canyons, the volcano, the sun setting behind. It's a beautiful card. That's going to be remembered. The Shiny Zard, I think, again, from Paldean Fates, that art is insane. It is so sick. And the colors are awesome. A very unique type of card. The Pikachu Special Illustration Rare is obviously going to be up there from Surging Sparks. Not everybody loves that card, right? I think you can say the same thing about the Rockets Mewtwo from Destined Rivals. It's going to be up there price-wise, but not everybody loves that card. Ethan's Ho-Oh Special Illustration Rare. I love this card. It's almost an S tier card for me. I think that the shot, the angle, Ethan looking up at Ho-Oh, it's iconic. It's nostalgia. It's beautiful, but there's just nothing really unique about the actual art style. It's beautiful, right? But to me, if it was just a little bit more of a unique art style, maybe it would have an argument to be up there. The Latios Special Illustration Rare, which is a connected art with the Latios Illustration Rare, it just doesn't quite stack up to the Sun and Moon Lovebirds cards, so I just don't think it's going to be remembered quite as fondly, even though I think it's amazing. The Groudon Illustration Rare, you've got the waves crashing onto the shore, the rocks there, you've got the volcanoes in the background. That to me is iconic. I love it. I just don't think it's quite at the top. I think the Zapdos Special Illustration Rare from 151 that features Moltres and Articuno as well is absolutely epic, but again, looking back throughout history, not going to be the most iconic card that features the 3 legendary birds. So those are the honorable mentions. Getting into number 5 here. I think Reshiram and Zekrom BWR rarities from the upcoming, Black Bolt and White Flare sets are going to enter the top 5. Part of this will be determined by how the textures actually come out in English. Haven't seen an English card yet because they're not released yet, but I have seen the Zekrom and Reshiram Japanese versions, and they're some of the most unique looking cards I've ever seen. They are nostalgia pilled as well, because They're kind of remakes of original full art cards of these Pokemon dating back to the original black and white sets. They're really, really good cards. Really awesome. I think that they're going to be highly sought after, highly chased, and very memorable from a set that's going to be very memorable because it's the first set ever where an entire region's Pokédex is featured in a art style card, whether it's illustration rare or special illustration rare. And of course, it is 2 sets, right? But it'll be remembered, I think, by, again, the community kind of as this one set, this one massive set. So Reshiram and Zekrom at number 5 there. That's kind of a bold, predictive ranking for those cards. At number 4, the most expensive card from the Scarlet and Violet era right now, the Umbreon EX Special Illustration Rare, the Sumbreon, as some people would call it. Moonbreon 2.0, I think, is a little bit more accurate. Whatever you want to call this Umbreon, it's over $1,000 card. It is a beautiful art, very cool. I don't think it's quite as iconic as the original Moonbreon from Evolving Skies, but it is a unique art style. It's beautiful. It's Umbreon. It's rare. It's incredibly difficult to pull. I think that this card will be remembered as one of the featured cards from the Scarlet and Violet era, even if it is overshadowed by its Sword and Shield counterpart. But Umbreon feels like it might be the most popular Pokemon right now among these ultra modern sets, the last 2 eras. That's just kind of how it is. At number 3, I've got our shiny Bubble Mew EX Special Illustration Rare from Paldean Fates. Iconic card. Very unique, simple, cute art style. You've got shiny Mew in a bubble. You've got a lot of other cute Pokemon in the card as well. It doesn't get much better than this. This is kind of what Pokemon is all about, in my opinion. At number 2, the Gray Felt Hat Pikachu promo card. You can debate whether or not promo cards should be featured in this list. I think they should, because a lot of times when you look back at an era, a lot of the cards that are the most popular 5-10 years down the road are promo cards. And so I think that this Gray Felt Hat Pikachu, it's incredibly expensive. It's incredibly sought after. People are constantly grading it. It's in demand and it's really cute. It's a unique card, right? So I think the Gray Felt Hat Pikachu absolutely belongs high on this list. And then at number 1, actually the card with the lowest value of any card on this list, it's the Magkiarp. Illustration Rare. Paldea Evolved. I think this card is going to go down. I think, when you do a list of like the most expensive cards from this set, I think it's going to rise up the list. I think it's going to be in much more demand than it currently is. And that is somewhat represented by the PSA 10 value as well. It's an extremely valuable PSA 10 card. Illustration rares have been notoriously difficult to grade from the Scarlet and Violet era. Magkiarp, it's Shinji Kanda, it's Magkiarp. And Magkiarp has, throughout the history of Pokemon, has had unbelievably hyped and loved cards, and this just continues it on, and this might be the best of them all. The art style, very unique. Shinji Kanda always providing kind of a unique take on different scenes from Pokemon, and this has a Gyarados in the background. You've got the black background, lots of color pops with the different underwater thematic elements, and it's unbelievably cool. I think this is the card that is going to be the most revered from Scarlet and Violet. Obviously, this entire list and all the honorable mention cards are going to be cards that are remembered and celebrated, and there's going to be a lot more cards. One thing you can say about the Scarlet and Violet era, every single set has beautiful cards, beautiful storytelling. It's the most consistently good era of Pokemon that we've had. You go back to Sword and Shield, maybe the highs are a little bit higher with some of the top sets like Evolving Skies and Crown Zenith, some others. there was a lot of crap sets to start the Sword and Shield era. There was a lot of crap sets in Sun and Moon. This is by far the most consistent era of Pokemon that we've gotten. It's unbelievable. And so, as we kind of close the book on Scarlet and Violet with the Black Bolt and White Flare sets, thought it was a good time to kind of take a look back at the best cards from this era and looking forward, how will these cards be remembered? Which cards will be the most iconic? So this is my list again. At 5, tied, I have the Reshiram and Zekrom BWR cards from Black Bolt and White Flare. At 4, the Umbreon EX Special Illustration Rare from Prismatic. At 3, the Shiny Bubble Mew EX Special Illustration Rare from Paldean Fates. The Gray Felt Hat Pikachu and the Magikarp at 1 from Paldea Evolved. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. If you enjoy the content, please like and subscribe. Y'all have a good one.